We're so thankful to Hashem. We're so lucky. It's so exciting. It's so exciting that we have this privilege to delve back into the teachings, to the world of the tzaddik, of R Rabbi, R Klonymus Kalman Shapira, Hashem Yikom Damo, and learning Bnei Machshava tova for so long was our anchor, was mamish our anchor. And we're going to, Israel Hashem, we were going to do a different sefer. And over the summer, I thought about it a lot. Why not to do the sefer we had said? And it came down to a very, very simple decision. We had said we're going to do Chovas Hatalmidim, and which is the next sefer we will be learning. And it came down to a simple decision, is that's what the Rabbi said. The Rabbi said, first you learn Chovas Hatalmidim, then you learn Chovas Hatalmidim. And I thought a lot about it. Why was I reluctant to go to Chovas Hatalmidim? I think maybe one of the reasons is because we want to feel like we're Avreichim. We're not Talmidim, right? You know, but that's such a sheker, meaning if you don't feel like you're still a Talmid, like you're still a student, and especially if you haven't learned the Rebbe's words about how to approach being a student, אז לא התחלת כלום. So the sefer that we're going to be learning, this Chovas Hatalmidim, if you could show here, it's either in this copy or this copy. Oh wow, they have another one. Yeah, that copy. Now the copy that Brenner is holding, that's the shul we got for the shul. That's only for Chazara. That's not what we're going to be learning from, because we're not going to be sticking to that translation. And because we never try, like, obviously now you can learn almost everything translated in English, but if we're not going to, push ourselves through the Hebrew, for us to really understand it, then we're not really receiving what it is. But that's definitely going to be up there for Chazara in the Beit Midrash. In fact, as an intro, we're going to see something from the intro of that sefer today. But Chovas Hatalmidim, this Indian of like the student's obligation, and Chevra, please give me, just let's really get our hearts focused and all the attention. Because tonight's a very big night for us, the siyum that we're doing. And it's Gadol Aleinu, it's bigger than us. Gadol Me'aleinu, it's greater than us. And I feel very strongly that there's something in the air about what the Piaseczner has been for us, and it's hard to really explain it. It's hard to put it into words, and that's why we had to work so hard on putting it into our own words with tefillas. So I'm warning everybody, obviously, that even though we're just starting today, this is a much larger sefer than Bnei Machshava Tova, But the warning is that means your tefillas will have to be longer and more, and many more of them as well. Once Be'ezrat Hashem, we should have a lot of years to learn together, with health and shalom bayis and all the good things that should accompany our learning. It's been a few months. How long has it been since we actually learned the Piyasetzner inside? It's been a while, right? It's now Elul. I don't think we've learned Piyasetzner inside since like, I'm scared to say, since like Iyar. Maybe Sivan. So anyway, to get back into the feeling of the Rebbe, we feel the Rebbe, and there's something out in the world. Shem, you saw there was a new picture of the Rebbe, just came out yesterday. It's and there's barely any pictures, but this is what happens when the energy of the tzaddik becomes stronger. You find more and more things. I showed the picture to my wife yesterday. The Rebbe was a melech. The Rebbe was a melech, malchus. You have to join this. There's this Facebook page, Piyasetzner. I forget what it's called. I don't know.
Friends of Piyasetzner.
Friends of Piyasetzner, something like that. There's a whole chevra that are now planning a trip to Poland on the Rebbe's yortzeit on Dalet Cheshvan. They're going to the site where he was most probably murdered. To the site. Now it's like a mall or something. But they know the site of where the Rebbe was actually gunned down, the day and the area. And now there's like a whole chevra that are trying to get to. I mean, if we weren't, we have to rearrange our plans, but hopefully you guys all know, like, this year we're gonna do the Ukraine, we're gonna go to Hy'd, but next year, B'ezrat Hashem, we're gonna do Poland. So maybe we could plan it. Well, hold your horses, Ishbitz, hold on. Piyasetzner first. Maybe it could be an amazing thing if we could set up as a Chabura to do a siyum and the makam of the Rebbe's last few seconds. Anyway, this is big stuff. So I want to just get back into the feeling of the Kaddish, and I found a startling letter that the Rebbe wrote during Slichas. Now I can't make the year out. I'm not sure if it's Taf Reish Tzadik Bet or Taf Reish Tzadik Tet. I can't say, but there are tremendous nafkaminas because the world was very different between 1932 and 1939. I think it's 1932 or 1933, but I'm not sure. But this will get us into the Avira of the Rebbe inviting us back into Elul, and then going weiter. This is from a sefer. You can get this on HebrewBooks.org or one of those online massive archives of Sfarim. Does everyone get it? There's more. There's plenty. I made a lot today. Okay. Ari, you got it? Ari, you're okay? Okay. So look what they're at. This is Piyasetzner, in the town of Piyasetzner, Yom Gimel Deslichas. Now you see the date. What do you guys? Does anyone have any ideas?
Sure.
Is it a bet?
It's for sure base because the bet
It's a
at
bet.
the very beginning is the same as the bet at the very beginning of the line.
Oh, nachon. Oh, very good, very good. What's that?
Probably look it up on the calendar and see which day was Yom Gimel Slichas.
Right, very good, nachon. That's true. So, yeah. The Brits are calculated there. Okay, no, you're right. We could probably figure it out. 1932 or 33. Okay. Chaim Shalom Bracha B'chol Tov L'chvod Yedideinu Ha'ovim Chasidim Negidim V'chulei Hashem Alehem Yichyeh. So he's writing this letter is a calling out to the fellow Chasidim and the Negidim. You know what a Nagid is? A Nagid, huh?
Leader.
Yeah, but in this context, I think it's speaking more about the Balabatim, the Negidim, like those that can help out. Ahovim Yedidim, Chizku v'nischazku be'ad Elokeinu u'be'ad Ameinu Am Hashem shenishka be'kol kach tlaos rabos v'tzaros Rachmana litzlan. So that's why I wasn't sure what year he's writing this. Because he's saying this in 1932. He's saying, let's strengthen ourselves and strengthen it for Hashem and for our Am that has sunken in Shenishka, that have sunk so deep into so many tlaot. Tlaot, rabot v'tzarot. Tlaot is a tzaros. It's like another word for tzarot. Troubles and pain and catastrophes. Al iyu הימים הקדושים הבאים עלינו לטובה, ימי הדין הרחמים ברצון לנו, רק כקבע והרגל בלבד. The days that are approaching us, the holy days that are Bezrat Hashem coming upon us, ימי הדין, הרחמים ורצון, should not show up and be experienced as just going through the motions. Right? It shouldn't be כקבע והרגל בלבד. I know it's a little bit, the print is a little bit difficult here. ותרבו בתפילה בבכי ובדברי תשובה רק מפני שהרגלתם כך מימים ימימה. What is he saying here? He's saying, don't just cry because that's what you're accustomed to do. He's not saying over here, don't just show up in shul and daven. He's saying, don't even shed a tear because that's what you do on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. Like the Rebbe's demand here to be authentic and to be sincere is startling. Who says this stuff? Don't just cry because that's what you do. Actually, we have a piece on Rabbi Nachman. Rabbi Nachman says, when you do Hisbodedus, don't sit down and say, until I cry, it's not real. And then eventually you cry. Rabbi Nachman says, that's not real either. It's got to come from somewhere very deep inside and sincere and authentic and genuine. It cannot be ordained.
How much Mashgiach in Yeshiva told us to poke ourselves in the eyes during like Ne'ilah to try to bring about the tears. Not joking, 100%. Kind of like the opposite of this, kinda.
Exactly that.
Are you being? Are you,
I don't know. You don't just make that up, right? Why would I just make that up?
I would have to. Like if I said a word like that, I'd have to make something like that up. What?
Yeah.
Poke yourself in the eye?
Yeah. Like bring yourself to tears during Ne'ilah. Right. If you have to
Take onions.
just rub them in. That's,
Maybe he was just.
Who takes onions?
No, but to bring yourself to tears, and then hopefully they'll come ultimately from the heart, but it starts with that. It's a shita, I mean, it's not.
Okay.
the other side.
Maybe he was saying, just do whatever you have to do to bring yourself to tears.
Okay. Man, that's a big kavschus there. Wow, I have so much more respect for you, Noach, right now. I have no idea. He's saying, don't, but this.
The shita, we don't have to poke ourselves in the eyes?
Yeah, that's what it sounds
So
like.
look what the Rebbe is saying. He says, don't do this כקבע והרגל בלבד ותרבו בתפילה בכי בדברי תשובה רק מפני שהרגלתם כך מימים ימימה. And now this is the line of the letter. רק קיראו לבבכם. קיראו לבבכם. Rip open your heart. עד שכל שבע הרקיעים יקראון. Until you tear open the seven heavens, the seven rikiim. אל תיתנו דומי לכם ואל תיתנו דומי לא יתברך עד ישקף ויראה בעינינו ומצוקותינו בגוף ונפש. Don't let God off the hook until He sees into our eyes and into our mitzukah, our mitzukah? A crisis, very good, yeah. Until He sees what's into our crisis, beguf uvenefesh. Our crisis, our spiritual and physical crisis. V'yachish ba'al harachamim l'rachem aleinu. And God, the Baal harachamim, the Master of mercy, will have to have rachmanis on us. Kol od ruach chaim bekirbeinu. As long as we're still physically alive. As long as there's a spirit of life within us, this is what needs to be done. V'nishmat Hashem b'mochinu, and as long as the neshama of God is in our midst. It's a very.
In our brain?
Yeah.
But it means like inside of us. Yemei ha'ratzon v'hitkarvut bahu. The days of ratzon and closeness have come. Heyu martzim lo mitkarvim elav yitbarach. It's like the word we said this morning in Tanya. And the Geras HaTshuva, nirtza, heyu meratzim lo. It's not just about Hashem forgiving. It's not about the ritzui, wanting to be close again. Like Dov, Hashem, what you were saying. Now it's not about the fight and saying I'm sorry. It's about the wanting of being close again. Al teramu et atzmechem ve'al ta'alimu ayin mikol shemetz asher bekerev machshavotechem diburechem u'maasechem להשתדל לתוקנם כפי יכולתכם ויותר מיכולתכם. What is he saying over here? He's saying don't put a blind eye. Do not ignore what needs to be done. What needs to be done in these days is to use all your kochos and more than all your kochos. What does that mean? You know, Rabbi Shlomo once said, a Rav tells you what you're capable of doing. A Rebbe shows you even more than what you're capable of doing. So he's saying over here, use all your kochos, veyoter miyacholtechem, and then use more than what you're even capable of doing. What does that mean? So Rabbi Shlomo said one time, the difference between Noach and Avram Avinu is very simple. Noach believes that, and that's what the world is believing, that man should reach his potential. And that's what they always say, right? Like what was the commercial in the 80s for the army? Be all you can be, join the army, right? Be all you can be. The Chassidus says, be more than you think you can be. Even before, exactly. Noach says, very good, listen.
Walk with God.
Walk with Hashem. Reb Shlomo said is a diuk on Avram Avinu. He's halech lefanai veheye samim. Very good. Are you a closet Shlomo Chassid? It's a very deep Torah what you pointed out. It's very interesting. More than what you could be. Yoter miyacholtechem. Nesayem et Toratenu akdosha. Is it nefayes? I can't tell over here. The length. You're probably right. Nefayes et Toratenu hakdosha. You know what pius means? What's that? To mollify. It's like a pius is like a treaty, like a peace treaty, like at the end of a peace. Nefayes et Toratenu hakdosha neratzev v'nitkarev laHashem v'tahale hi lamarom levakesh rachamim aleinu. What's going to go up to the marom to ask rachmanis for us? Toratenu hakdosha. He's saying, let's make our Torah that we've learned be mevakesh rachmim anas. Torah Kedosha. What's that?
What does it mean to Fayez Toratenu?
We have to come to a pius with our Torah first. And then what happens is that the Torah then goes up and acts as that mevakesh rachamim.
Like the Torah has
A soul?
neshama, right, a soul of its own.
Absolutely. If
They're
rocks
activated.
have souls of their own, like
Right.
the Tanya says in Sheikh and Be'emunah, then Allah Chaskal V'chama, the Torah Kedosha. Torah Kedosha hischaneni bevakasha al Yisrael hanitchim umedukaim b'shvilech. Holy Torah, beg, please, beg from Hashem that there should be Rachmanis Am Yisrael who are so nidachim, they are rejected and oppressed, b'shvilech, for your sake. Kol echad meitanu yekabel al atzmenu lekayem u'la'asok b'Torah b'chol yom. We each take upon ourselves to be delving into Torah every single day, ve'litmoch et lomdea kefi yecholto, and to support those who learn Torah to the best of our ability as well. Now remember, the Rabbi had a yeshiva in Poland. Does anyone remember the name of the yeshiva? It's called Das Moshe. And it was revolutionary. It was the first yeshiva that had a dormitory. It was a pnimiyah. And there was a lot of chidushim there. And the yeshiva was stark. It was fire. People would come from all over Poland and send their children to learn there. Talmidei yeshiva. Now it's mamash hashgacha, because look at the next words. Hamakribim es chelbam v'damam. What does it mean? What is he saying about his own students? I wish every Rosh Yeshiva... Huh?
We didn't eat the yeshiva.
Right. But I wish every Rosh Yeshiva felt so proud about his Talmidim, their Talmidim like he is. He says, our Talmidei Yeshiva, they are makriv, their chaylev, the vedam. That's what we said this morning in Shir. They are sacrificing their fat and their blood. Et gufam bet nafsham ke'eish toras Hashem. Al tafkiru osam chas v'sholem. Don't desert them. He's calling out now to the Negidim, to those that can support and haven't yet supported. Al tafkiru otam chas v'shalom. You know what it means? Who here was anyone here in the army? מה זה להפקיר בשטח? What does that mean?
To neglect, to be behind.
To desert your post. Yeah. He's saying, don't desert them. נשתתף גם אנו עמהם. That this word is very hard.
לתמוך אותם?
Nachsoch.
I don't know. Nachsochotam doesn't really.
Yeah, the word.
I'm not sure what that word is. The print is very difficult.
לתמוך אותם.
Let's say, yeah.
To save them.
Nachsochotam? Not sure. Could be. It could be either one. V'yale korbanam l'reach nichoach la'adon kol l'rachem aleinu v'lo. They're learning. They're davening. You support them. They're tired like korbans. Reach nichoach up to Hashem and all of us. And look in bold print. ובכן הנני מבקש אתכם שמעתה כל משפחה תפרוט לא פחות מחי גדולים לשבוע לישיבה הקדושה. And basically, his appeal ends like stark in bold print. He said, really? I'm asking each family that at least they should at least be sending in 18, whatever the currency was back then. I don't know. Big ones. For a week, for the holy yeshiva. Chutz mima shenoten ma'ot chodesh. Aside from what you're already giving every single month. V'chai hachai. Would any of you say? Could you say no to after a letter like this?
A revolutionary yeshiva needs a revolutionary fundraiser.
Absolutely.
That's it.
V'chai hachayim yiten lanu chayim. The life of life should give us life. Brios hanefesh v'aguf parnasa ugeula shleina b'yena b'yamein. And you see, and then you see, this is actually his hand. Yedidchem hadoresh. Chatima tova bichlal kol Yisrael. And then he ends off by writing his name, Klonymus Kalman Ben. I can't see how he ends it off over here, but he refers to his father, Zecher Tzadik B'Kodesh Livrocha L'Chai Alam Haba. Hold on to this letter. This letter is revolutionary. The words, what I really wanted to get from this letter, and I'm still hoping it comes inside, is really what he's saying in the beginning. What he's saying in the beginning is like, you know, like us Chavura. This year we know there's certain places in the davening that'll be higher than others because of previous year. Don't bank on those. Don't set yourself up, oh, that's coming up, so in the past that was fire, this is fire too. Kir'u levavchem. Rip open your hearts. Now the Rabbi, when he gave over horaz, when he gave over instructions to mechanchim, to the educators, this is what he was really basically begging of them. You were designated to give over the word of God to students. You must kiru levavchem. Even if you have a good cup and you understand shakla v'tariyas, that's not what we're here for. We're here now that when you are giving over Dvar Hashem, they are learning right now, mamish from people that have ripped open their hearts over. Okay, so before we go inside the actual sefer, there was an important piece. This is all in English. There was an important piece I wanted to. Brenner, do you mind giving me that book? I want to check something. You can give these out to everybody. This will give us a little bit of a explanation. It's a pticha for Chovas Hatalmidim, for a student's obligation. You know, even knowing that this is like very. You feel it too? Like it's very. What? Yeah, it's very, very, very big. It's very big. They should be going around right now. The Rebbe's words. I mean, that letter. What we're going to keep on seeing over here. You know, like I don't know. It was Yossi, your son, and a few other Chavura here. Remember, we got so excited that we heard that last year they're starting to teach Chovas Hatalmidim to the kids in high school. You know what ended up happening? They started teaching it before davening. You know what ended up happening? They hate it.
Really?
I would too.
Before davening?
No, whenever it is, I would too if it's and then because they got tested on it too.
Oh.
It's amazing. You're taking the most pristine, clear water, and you're making it into schmutz. Mamish into schmutz. It's very scary. It's good kavanas. It's great kavanas. But there was a father here, one of our Chavura. We had long discussions. He went to the Rosh Yeshiva and he said, I will not have my son take tests on this. That's gewalt, no? Okay. educate the youth according to his way. Chanuch lanar al pi darko, according to his way. Does anyone remember where we saw this pasuk before? Right, where?
At the very beginning of
Shara Yichud ve'emunah. Right when we start Shara Yichud ve'emunah. The Rebbe channeled all his energies into chinuch, that of small children as well as older ones, teaching disciples as well as educators. In particular, Hasidic education was the love of his life, and he would devote to it his entire being. In this he excelled over all others of his generation. Do you know how I became a chassid? Asked one of the great Polish Rebbes. The Piasetzner Rebbe removed my soul from my body. He washed it and scrubbed it, and purged it in pure and holy water, and returned it to me clean of all stains. Alavai, we should have Rebbes like this. This was the greatness of Piasetzna and the secret behind its success. In the Rebbe's own golden words, the purpose of Chovas Hatalmidim, what we're about to embark on, is to penetrate the insides of every student, to uncover his soul and to guide it in Torah and Avoda in the Hasidic manner. He had need for neither modern psychology, for any pedagogical methods. He simply remained faithful to the teachings of the Baal Shem Tov. He firmly believed that within every Jewish soul was hidden a treasure of holiness and godliness, yearning to cleave to the rock who fashioned him. Like, that's how he looked at students. That's how he looked at Kinderlach. All that was needed was to kindle the flame and fan it until the flame would one day rise on its own. Like Rashi says,
That's so great.
Achete shalheves ola me'elea. That's what Rashi says in Parshas Ba'aloscha. The Rebbe believed that every Jewish soul was a pearl which had become stained and simply needed to be picked up and washed and cleansed. This was the cornerstone of the Rebbe's philosophy of Jewish education. With this method and this secret, he attracted thousands of Hasidim, young and old, brimming with enthusiasm and yearning. To his admirers, he was a heavenly angel. Anyone who had been to Piasetzna, even once, was able to tell stories of the miracles he had witnessed. The greatest miracles of all, however, paled into insignificance compared to his achievements in the field of education, where he trained his students for a life of authentic Yiddishkeit by transforming their hearts and minds. When he was once told of a great miracle performed by a particular Rebbe, R Klonymus Kalman praised the Rebbe's saintliness and concluded, the greatest miracle of all, however, is to make pious Jews out of ordinary, simple Jews. This is like the miracle we're all striving so much to work on, the revealed miracle. The Piasetzner Rebbe performed many such miracles. In a very short time, he would manage to take people without so much as a thread of anything Jewish and turn them into truly devout Jews. His education went beyond teaching what a person must do. For that, there's a Shulchan Aruch, from whose ruling he taught not to budge by even one iota. But beyond that, the Rebbe taught them what to think. The Rebbe taught them what to think. That's what we're doing a siyum on tonight, brothers. To further this goal, he authored the manuscript Bnei Machshava tova, those who are guided by proper thoughts. The book answered such questions as what should a devout chassid think about, when, and to what degree. He held the keys to a person's heart and mind. Maftechas hanefesh. Remember the terminology? He was able to take someone whose senses had all been blunted and whose mind was corrupted, and who had no idea what prayer meant, and within time, that person would be praying with incredible dveikus, for the Rebbe knew how to rekindle his soul. One of the great Admorim once said that the Piasetzner Rebbe was able to resuscitate the dead with his words. Chovas Hatalmidim is testimony to this. His heartfelt cry to the young student, you, the Jewish youth, are fortunate. Fortunate is your share, for you've been given the privilege of learning Torah, which is the light of Hashem, and have reached the elevated level of being one of his loved ones in whom he delights. The heavenly angels both envy and respect you. The seraphim are amazed by you and honor you. Arouse not only the apathetic youth from his apathy, but it even awakened those in a deep anemic sleep from their slumber. The children and youth upon whom he had an impact felt as if they had just been reborn. The Rebbe's parables and descriptions were vivid and lifelike. Anyone who learns Chovas Hatalmidim or any of his other works on the subject of Shabbos can literally feel Shabbos Malkata. Sense the grandeur as if he actually is strolling in Me'ein Olam Haba and basking in the radiance of the divine presence. When one reads his description of the Pesach Seder, the entire Chag begins to take on a glittering brilliance. It's as if the wine has just been poured into the goblets. By the way, I just want to add something very important. I first heard about the Piasetzner Rebbe by someone who, whenever he spoke about Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, you felt he was talking about his own father, and Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah. I think that's really what it boils down to. That when they're speaking, that was Reb Shlomo, obviously. I think this is what it boils down to. That to receive Torah today, like for the real yearning soul, they need to feel that the person that is giving over the Dvar Hashem is literally experiencing it while they're giving over to it, and the closeness is so chazak. Like what he's saying over here, when you read about the Rebbe's, like when we read about the Rebbe's words about Kisei HaKavod, remember what he said about the throne of glory? I've never had a stronger imagery than when I heard it from the Piasetzner Rebbe. Why? Because when he's speaking about the Kisei HaKavod, that's exactly what's in front of him. Exactly at that moment. When he's telling students the angels are jealous of you, that's exactly what he's feeling and what he's sensing while he's saying such words back inside. All senses and feelings are channeled to the Creator and are intrinsic part of the house. The tables and candles were created in order to exalt and sing praise and thanksgiving to Hashem. The dancing on Simchas Torah is for no other purpose than for man to shake off the mundane and rise above and to immerse in the stream of fire of Hashem's eternal Torah. Even Yemot HaChol, the regular days of the week, are totally sanctified for Avodas Hashem. It's a Thursday morning. Granted, it's Elul, so we're a little bit more sensitive. But you know what? We've had Sunday mornings in here that I felt that someone was going to go and take a korban and start walking to Harabais.
This is referring to the fact that there were so many Jews that Shabbos they were on, but the rest of the week they were like totally checked out.
Could be. One of the yeah, it could be. The Rebbe suggests how we can rid ourselves of external thoughts during prayer. With his words, it's as if he grasps the person while he's praying and rises with him to the heavens, fleeing from the angels of destruction and running towards Sha'arei Gan Eden. An angel of destruction pursues him and tries to bite him, yet the Rebbe pulls him away and saves him. From the gasping soul, he's able to elicit a cry, "Save me, O Father in heaven," causing the gates of heaven to open and bringing an end to any intrusive thoughts. And this is just an important historical background. Chovas Hatalmidim is the only book which the Rebbe published and disseminated publicly during his lifetime, Warsaw, 1932.
I thought he just said that he did Bnei Machshava.
Published
No,
later.
but they found it afterwards. That was published after.
He didn't even give it to his own Talmidim.
He gave it to his own. It was to his own, but the printing only
It
happened
wasn't
afterwards.
like
Yeah,
he was
no.
like-
Chovas Hatalmidim was the only one that was full on
Like in books.
out. The entire book is a delicate analysis of the soul of the youth, of its strengths and weaknesses, and the revelation of the hidden light within. It's written in the second person, speaking directly to the young man. The Rebbe himself once said, "I never began work on a chapter of Chovas Hatalmidim before I pictured the image of the student standing before me, and then I analyzed his difficulties." The style of the book excels in its fervor, and it succeeds in penetrating the essence of the student. It's as if the letters are burning on the page as the Rebbe's genuine concern for what will become of the next generation of Hashem's nation exudes from every line. You know, I always wondered, Chavra, we've spoken about this then. If the Rebbes knew what was going to happen, like if Reb Nachman, the Baal Tanya, if they knew what was going to happen to European Jewry, if they knew that 6 million Jews would be slaughtered, 6 million Jews would be killed, what would their Torah be like? And it becomes clearer and clearer they all knew. Just some revealed that they knew it more, and some hid it a little bit more because their Torah. Can you imagine the day after 1945 without Hasidus, without the Baal Shem Tov? What would it be? How could anyone hold on to anything? Al achas kama v'chama, the Rebbe who's living it, and it's right there. He's seeing it in front of him. Of course, that he had us in mind. He had you and I in mind.
You know, written in 1932, not 39, like you know.
Right? No, he said as if things were peachy in 1932. Right? We don't realize it. It's not like 1938 that was bad, but 1932 they loved it. They loved us. The illusion maybe that was the illusion, but inside the Rebbe's, no real tzaddik was confused. No tzaddik was confused about anything. The Rebbe saw clearly what was going on. In its time, the book had a major impact in the Jewish world. In its time, the book had a major impact the Jewish world over. Tzaddikim and pious people spent much time studying it. However, it proved most popular among yeshiva students under the direction of their Rabbeim. In the Navardak, Lithuanian yeshivas, groups of students organized shiurim in it.
Why was that allowed?
That's a miracle.
Like even from yeshiva, I remember the Chovas Hatalmidim was one of the only things from anyone Hasidic that was allowed in the base medrash, and was like counted as mussar.
As we learn it, we'll understand it. Why it's hard to say from outside, but it's a great point you bring up. All other Sfarim, you think they would let a Likutei Moharan in a Varda? The only even in other Hasidic base medrashes, Likutei Moharan wasn't really around. There's only one of the tzaddikim we know he had Likutei Moharan, but it was a rare occasion. I heard this directly from Rav Steinsaltz. The only other place we know outside of Breslov that had Likutei Moharan by the real poublished tzaddikim was the Kotzker, which isn't a shocker. The Kotzker had a Likutei Moharan. But the fact that Chovas Hatalmidim was accepted, listen, Tzvi Kramer told me, his children go to Breslov or Hy'd, obviously, right? Chovas Hatalmidim is in Breslov or Hy'd. That's not Breslov. The Rebbe was bigger than just he was bigger. He was bigger than just this is mashu acher. But truly, it is shocking though about Navardak. And I have to say, no, yes, if Navardak they're learning
Straight shooters.
In the Navardak, the author saw this as a great privilege that fell his way. He once mentioned to the great tzaddik Rav Eliyahu Lifshitz from Gritza, "Had I not known that I was the author, I would never have believed that I had the privilege of authoring such a book." Wait, that's not, he wasn't being sarcastic at all whatsoever. He probably said it like this. Had I not, mamish, straight up. His love for the sefer was so great that on Simchas Torah in Koznitz, when the minhag was to announce the Rebbe's lineage dating back to the Maggid of Koznitz, the Maharshal, and all the way back to King David, the Rebbe requested they add author of the book Chovas Hatalmidim. Other books written by the Rebbe include Mevah She'arim, Achsharas HaAvreichim, Chovas Hatalmidim, Tzav V'Ziruz, and a pamphlet containing articles he had written from time to time, collected under the title Bnei Machshava Tova, which included the rules and plans for a group of the same name, whose purpose was to better serve Hashem and draw closer to Him. Another pamphlet, Sichos Kodesh, was a collection of drashas as well as thoughts he had conveyed at his Shabbos and Yontiv Tishes to the Piasetzner Hasidim during his 35 years as Rebbe. The sichas, which had accumulated over the years, were a vast treasure both in quantity and quality, and the Rebbe eventually decided to put them into writing. I'm wondering if he's referring here to Derech HaMelech. It doesn't say, huh?
It doesn't say.
It must be Derech HaMelech, yeah. Me'ez Hashem ha'isa zo sini flas beinenu. This is from Hashem and it's wondrous in our eyes. Through a series of incredible miracles, the manuscripts for these books were saved. For 30 years, they had been buried deep in the ground in the Warsaw Ghetto. The news of their discovery was received with great joy by the Rebbe's disciples and admirers, and indeed anyone who wished to could read the ideas of the Baal Shem Tov in simple language as spoken to the hearts of the young. You see, in all the writings and all the doctorates that have been written about the Eish Kodesh, they all say the following thing. I've read a bunch of things last few years, and they all say that the Rebbe felt that Hasidim forgot what the Baal Shem Tov was really all about. That's what they say. Look, many of us, we hear a story about Baal Shem Tov, and then we think of different Hasidic sects. We don't find the correlation at all, right? So the Piasetzner Rebbe looked at what was going on, and he really felt that. He saw that happening as well. And that's why for us, it's like, we have this access to the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh that's so pristine and so refined and so fresh, it's so new. But he's speaking about this as well over here. Like anyone who wished to could read the ideas of the Baal Shem Tov in simple language as spoken to the hearts of the young. The Rebbe also authored a pamphlet, Rishimos HaZohar, of which only Mesiras Modah, the introduction to his commentary on the Zohar, survived. It was published with Chovas Hatalmidim in the year 1956. So I heard it just yesterday, Reb Shlomo speaking about when he remembered when Chovas Hatalmidim was revealed and came onto the scene and was printed. He said people were losing their minds, they couldn't believe it. The Mamish Kodesh came onto this today. Meaning, Chovas Hatalmidim was printed in 1932, right? But a lot of this stuff went lost until it was resurrected again. It's like it came back as a boom to everybody. But anyway, what I really wanted to do is we're going to spend, let's face it, we're going to spend a few years with this sefer Be'ezer Hashem. It's not, even though it's easier language than the Bnei Machshava, Bnei Machshava was it's very intense. The Chovas Talmidim is a little bit more of a gentle lashon, a gentle language. However, what it's going to do to us the real reason why I really want, like I said, the Rebbe said, you got to do Chovas Talmidim and then Chovas Avreichim. He also said, and then Bnei Machshava Tova. So we did a little bit of a misorder, but I felt like this. Baruch Hashem, we're all Abbas. We're all fathers. And some of you are with your father here. We're all Abbas. And what do we, when it boils down to it, if someone would say to us, what are you davening for the most on Rosh Hashanah? Yom Kippur, the Yom Tovim. What are you really going to daven for the most? So there's two answers. One is I daven for the most that I be for my children what they need. B is that should be my tefillah. That's what I daven for the most. I daven for the most that what I want should be to be the best father of my children, and I'm not even talking about money or other spiritual things that are just as important, that are very important, but they're not just as important. So to be the connector and to stand behind those words of I want to be the best Abba I could be, I have to go into the child in me that is still neglected and that is still going through his own traumas. Even though I became a father and now I have hair on my face and it looks like I'm not a kid anymore, I'm still a kid. And I still need to hear a Rebbe imagine my pain and then speak to me, which is what the Rebbe did over here. But to be able to give over Dvar Hashem, we already have been very careful. If you're putting the future of your children's understanding of Dvar Hashem onto the chinuch they receive in schools, you should be put in jail. And it's nothing to do with the school. It could be the greatest school in the world. It's not, the tafkid of the school is not to do that inyan. In a perfect world it would be. So this is for our homes. This is for our tefillahs of Be'ezer Hashem, of addressing these issues. And I really, really encourage all of us, not just tonight, but after we put up this shiur. We're going to post this shiur in a few hours. Baruch Hashem, we have such a solid group that have been learning, but now's the time to spread the wings. There are so many people that want to learn with us, but it's not that they don't feel invited. Everyone feels invited, but they might feel they have it going already. They already have it going. I'm telling you, there's a lot of chavra, even here, mamash, right around here. All they need is some kiru levavchem, a moment of kiru levavchem, and to make it clear, this door is open for everybody. And no one here really works anyway, so it's not like we're telling them to stop working. No one, and if they do, they're working later in the day. So,
Amen.
Calling it spade for spade. This is the avoda. This is the avoda.
That was tefillah.
This is the tefillah of the tefillah. The avoda tefillah is avoda shebalev. Anyway, we should be privileged that the Esh Kodesh, that tonight we bury another 5 million Nazis as we're doing a siyum on the Bnei Machshava Tova. That we bring nachas to Hashem, we bring nachas to the Rebbe. I'm sure we are. I'm sure we are. I mean, I even for a second got a glimpse of him, like sitting right here right now, like saying, "Wow, I can't," you know. He's still saying, "I can't believe I'm the author of this." You know, he's still saying it. Yeah.
You know, Shoshana explained to me there's this guy Ringelblum from the Warsaw Ghetto who went ahead and collected all of his works.
The Oneg Shabbos. He's the head of the Oneg Shabbos.
He's head of the Oneg Shabbos,
Yeah.
right? And he threw into the boxes mostly like receipts and poems people wrote. There wasn't really kadosh stuff in there. The only kadosh stuff he threw into these boxes, I believe there were 5 of them, was that we found is Ish Kodesh, and there's still 2 or 3 boxes missing. That's why this is why when there's a new picture that comes up, and when we learn, we have the ability to find these other boxes. One of them is in Yad Vashem, where they actually found his works.
Milk jugs.
Milk jugs.
It was in milk jugs.
Two of them, they believe, are in like the Chinese embassy, which is what today is the Chinese embassy is built on. And they a few years ago got permission to try to dig there to try to find the rest of the jugs. They were unsuccessful, but us learning and like bringing this koach back, I have no doubt that we're gonna find these works. So when he writes, "Oh, well, we only have the introduction to Mesiras Hazor," like
I feel like there might be a reason for that.
we're like we're gonna bring this stuff up, like it's happening in our time, and like
we're living a lot of
we're
like,
doing it now,
we're in the
we're
middle
doing
of
it
a
tonight.
story.
That's
Yeah.
right. We're in the middle of the
We're in the middle. We are part.
It's so
We are part of the story. It's mamish.
Really, it's just
Can you imagine if someone said to you right now, "Listen, Ravina and Rav Ashi, they need you to, to come into the machlok. They need you have to mash." But no, so there was a chasima on the shas, meaning that was chasam. That kufa is done in a weird way. That kufa of the 6 million is not done whatsoever, and that's like that's very talk about responsibility and putting us into a very strong place. This is big stuff. Without Hashem, what I meant to also just like encourage all of us is that we're starting from the sefer itself on Sunday, Be'ezrat Hashem. We're from the sefer Chovas Hatalmidim, and that's why I really thank you so much for what you said, Dov. Like show up at the sefer with pride. Look, Bnei Machshava tova, we bought for everybody, but this one, like, listen, we could buy for everybody.
Own it. Go get your own.
Own it, and we should own it. And the Rebbe's words should bring Rachmanis on Alvam Yisrael and take us out from any mess that we're still stuck inside. Chaim.
They're going to take 5 years. 5 years up to
Olam Acher.
I take the borrow yours for every other day after that.
Absolutely.